What that will be is once you've completed this month, you'll simply copy the data from that onto that tab so that we can always compare the data this month to the previous month. But obviously, as this is your first report, there's no previous month to compare to. So the only ones you need to fill in this time round are this tab here, performance overview, and the team performance one. We'll look at the performance overview first. So quite simply, and if you look across the top, I've actually changed a couple of the headings for the columns, so you can just do that accordingly. So you've got your criteria here. RAG means red, amber, green. So medium term planning for your team, are they all on target? If they're all on target, then obviously it's green. If not all of your team are on target, then obviously it would be amber or red, depending on how far off target they are. If they're within 2%, it'd be amber. If they're more than 2% off target, then it would be red. Same here. So short-term planning completion. Now, when completing this, you are not just basing it on the AP reports, because obviously you should have been checking weekly to make sure that they have been doing it. And so therefore, if they have put that they've done it, but you've noticed that it hasn't been completed when you've been doing your checks, although they've put it as green, you wouldn't, because I need to know that certain staff aren't completing it and are also being dishonest about it. So you would put that as red or amber, whichever it might be, and then your comments here would be such and such member of staff wasn't completing the planning. So I would then understand why in the comment section that isn't green. But let's say, for argument's sake, that it is green. Your short-term planning, that's been done. So again, that's checking that it's been done on a weekly basis. Obviously, if short-term planning is green, then medium-term planning will be anyway. Pupil assessment, so check that they've been done. Again, don't just rely on the ACPROs. Check them yourself. One thing you could do, which I suggested previously, is you could simply get the ACPROs to print them off and show them to you so you know that they've been done. School impact reports, so have they submitted all of their impact documents to you, because they need to be submitted and you need to in turn submit them to me, because each school's going to have a folder in the office that we can give to them at the end of the year with all the data in. So that's really important that that's done. So have they submitted the school impact reports? Again, if they all have, it's green. If there's one person that hasn't, then it would be amber or red, and you would put in the comments again who it was that hadn't submitted the relevant reports. Parent funded average club numbers. So again, if your overall team's average is 14 for parent funded, then it'd be green. Same for school funded. Your curricular assessment scores, which Blaine will be responsible for. For now, don't worry too much about that one, because perhaps not all of your team will have had a curricular assessment this week. We'll go through how we're going to incorporate assessments after Easter at some point over the Easter holidays. And then your extracurricular average scores. So that's the data that you're inputting for me. Again, if any of this is not green, comments need to go in there as to why, and also what you have done about it. So if somebody isn't completing the medium-term planning, what action have you taken and are you going to take moving forward to address that? This one here is obviously not relevant because this is the first report you submitted, but here, when you complete your next report, let's say your average numbers, for example. So in this column here, sorry, you're going to put your current position. So school parent funded average club numbers 14. So you're going to put that it's green, but you're also going to put what that average is. So if it's 15.8, that shouldn't be the percent. So you just need to change that. So let's say your average number was 15.8, and then next half term it was 16.2. Then you can put in there the growth in comparison to the previous term. So once you've actually put your red, amber, or green here, you also need to put in this column the current position. So if it's green here, it'll be 100%. But if it's not, then you put the percentage there of it that has been completed. So that's all relatively straightforward, but like I say, please don't just rely on your AP reports that have been submitted. You need to make sure that you're checking that against what they're submitting to you to make sure they are actually doing it. Okay, so that's all straightforward, and that's based on your entire team. The other thing you need to then complete is the team performance section. So you need to do a column down like that for every single member in your team. Now, I've taken Will's AP report for this term and I've put Will in there as an example. Okay, so here you are giving me more detail on the individuals as opposed to your overall team. So, for example, let's say you've got Will. So, medium-term planning. Yep, that's all been done by Will, so that's green. Short-term planning, green. Parent-funded club number average we'll come back to, and school-funded club number average we'll come back to. Pupil assessments, are they all done, up to date? Green. Curricular obs, has that been completed? That's green. Here's extracurricular CEF score, green. Sorry, not curricular obs, that been completed. Is his curricular observation score meeting the average required? If so, green. CEF score for his extracurricular, green. Has he completed his registered on the BMS, which again you should be checking as well, green. Extracurricular registers completed on the BMS, green. So if that's all done, then they should all be green. So here your team meetings, have they attended every team meeting? So again here you'll put the relevant dates in for all of your team meetings for the last half term, but if they've attended every team meeting, then it'll be green. If they haven't attended one, then obviously it'll be red. Now obviously I know some of you do more than one because you've got certain people that can't attend the team meeting with the rest of your team. It's not necessarily going to be red if they can't attend on that particular day, but if they've missed any of the ones that you arranged especially for them, then that would be red. So as long as they've attended every time you've expected them to, that would be green. But obviously that impacts on bonus every time it's red. So make sure you keep a record of each individual team meeting that they are and aren't attending. Okay, so here we are looking at the impact data. So all we need for this, I'm going to take Will's AP report. So if you look here at Will's schools, so for example, he's got Gayton Junior School. So I'm going to put Gayton. Impact data needed is, if you look at Will's, so it's pupil attainment and teacher CPD. So pupil attainment, so you're going to highlight the ones that are relevant and teacher confidence, that should say teacher CPD, so you can just change that, but it's the same thing. So you will put those as green if you have seen the impact documents for that. So pupil attainment is just have they completed their assessments on the BMS, and teacher confidence or teacher CPD is obviously have you seen the pre and post evaluations, have they submitted that to you? If they have, then that would be a green. Next one for Will here, we've got Longford. Again, a lot of this is PPA cover, so it's just pupil attainment. So as long as the assessments are on the BMS and you've seen that they've been completed, then they would be green. We'll take Stenson Fields here, for example. So there's a different one there. So, because there's also competition, so it'd be pupil attainment, which should always be the case, and competition. So have you checked the assessments on the BMS and have you seen the competition impact document? If you have, it's green. If they should have done an impact document for competition, it's highlighted green, and that you haven't seen it, then it would be like that. Green, because that's the area that they're supporting with and the impact document you need to see, but red because you haven't seen the documentation. Now this should be completed just down here for for every single school that we're doing curricular work with. It doesn't necessarily need to be done for extracurricular activity. The only one where it would be is if we're, for example, doing an extracurricular club, which is a targeted club, which might be a play active club to increase participation or improve attitude, or if it was a club to prepare children for a competition. So if it was a funded club that was being run with a specific remit, then you would have to complete that. But generally it's just going to be curricular stuff that you're going to need to complete this for. So that should all be pretty straightforward. Now finally, this part here. So funded club average number, which is really important because obviously they're bonused on it and you're then bonused on it in turn for your entire team. So the way that we work this out is quite simple. So we're looking at parent funded club number average for Will. So we go on to Will's AP report. We see that parent funded, so all the ones parent funded are highlighted in blue. Now all you have to do is a simple formula. So you have to see how many sessions he's done that are of clubs that are parent funded. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Sorry, no, this is total number, ignore that. So this column here is obviously the total number signed up on the course. And this number here is those actually attended. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Obviously the club didn't run on where it's 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So Will has ran 16 sessions of extracurricular activities that have been parent funded. Like I say, ignore the ones that are 0 because I wouldn't imagine it's because nobody turned up. I would imagine it's because the session wasn't on. So just to reiterate, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, so 16 sessions. Now, the way we work out the average of those, we're going to any box, we put equals, sum, open brackets, and then you click on all of those 16. So all of those 16 sessions. You then do close brackets, and then you do a /, which is divide, and we've counted the number of sessions, which is 16. So this sum is the total number of all of the children that have attended divided by the number of sessions, which when you press return should calculate the average number per session. So Will's average number on parent funded clubs is 15, and if it helps just to put a little reminder, just put parent funded next to it. Now exactly the same for school funded, so a little SF here, click in that cell, equals, sum, open brackets, and we're going to select all of the school funded ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Now I've done it again, I've accidentally done E14 and E15, which are clubs, so I'll just delete them. So that should be 15 sessions. Just let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 15 sessions. So close brackets divided by 15 sessions equals 18. So Will's average numbers on parent funded clubs are 15 and on school funded are 18. Now that obviously took me about 2 minutes to work out, and that was because I was going through it slowly with you guys to demonstrate it. Actually, when you get the hang of it and when you've got the formula in moving forwards, it should calculate itself. Just be wary that obviously if they're running different amounts of sessions or schools change each half term, you just have to put the formula in manually because you've got to divide it by the actual number of sessions. So for example, next half term is a 7-week half term. So 18 and 15. So for Will on here, parent funded 15, school funded 18. Okay, now obviously when you've got ACPRO B, C, D, E, etc., you will then be able to work out your team average. Okay, so let's just say for argument's sake that was 17, that was 11, that was 9, and that was 14. Quite cleverly, it's already ragged them for me there, so that's good. So all I would do there is, again, equals sum, open brackets, those close brackets, divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ACPROs. So your average on school funded clubs as a team leader is 13.8. Same here. Equals sum, open brackets, add all of those together, close brackets, divided by 5. Average for parent funded, for you as a team leader, is 14. Okay, so hopefully that should all make sense to you now. If you've got any questions, then feel free to email me, but hopefully that short video has made it quite clear on what you need to do. And once you've done this first one, moving forwards, it'll become second nature, and you'll find it really easy and straightforward. So any questions, let me know. Hopefully that's been useful for you, and look forward to receiving your team leader reports next Wednesday. Have a great Easter weekend, and I'll catch up with you all soon.